upstream. Okay, how does Catechist Stream support catechists? Oh my, would you like to kick us off with that one?
Sure, we've already kind of alluded to some of those ways, which is creating an online community where we can talk to one another, discuss, evaluate, and also hopefully engage with one another effectively in catechesis and that craft. And also what's going on in our lives. I mean, there's a social aspect to this experience as well that's super important because it really bonds us and makes this a very cohesive group, which makes it even all the more dynamic in everything that we produce out of it. So I would definitely say just the creation of the online community itself is going to be very beneficial for a lot of catechists and catechetical leaders. It's one more touch point with that community of learners and practitioners. I also think just the topics that we're going to talk about, again, everything and anything connected with your personal faith journey, talking about self-care as a subdivision of that, or a subset of that, talking about getting into scripture, Lectio Divina practices, prayer practices, how important that is to keep our own faith going so that we can share the faith with others. So there's a very personal dimension to the content that will be released starting in early January. Liturgically based, talking a lot about the seasons, highlighting feast days. In fact, our very first show, where we're going to highlight the baptism of the Lord and connect it with the vocational call of catechists that comes out of our baptism. Everyone's called to be a catechist by virtue of being baptized. So we're going to be here to help in terms of community, to help in terms of our content, and every now and then we'll have a special guest to deliver some expert information.
There's been a lot of conversation about the role of catechist and the ministry of catechist. What can you share with us about that?
Well, we've seen like an incredible development in this past year about the role of catechist, and that came from Pope Francis's motu proprio, which by the fact that he writes this, it becomes part of church law. And he wrote early in the spring that catechist is now an official institution in the church. What does that mean? Well, it simply means that now it requires, it demands of the bishops' conferences and the diocesan leadership to really resource, to really put energies behind the training and formation of catechists. And there's even talk about kind of a super class, if you will, of catechist, which formerly used to be called master catechist, but someone who's more specialized in the work of catechesis, the craft of catechesis, and that from the conference level, the level of the bishops' conference on down, that in subsequent years, there would be specific training and formation for that group. But we all know that in the parishes, DREs and even today, PCLs have such a hard time just getting anybody to volunteer for catechists, and we are very aware of that and very empathetic with that. And so we want this stream, Catechist Stream, to really target that audience, which is the 99% of the catechists. So we realize that there probably will be a more specialized subset of catechists down the road, but we want to speak to that baptismal call for all disciples to be catechists, and that's really what this stream's about.